Alright guys, we're going to have a look at the barbell glute bridge, a great variation not only for beginners and for starting out when you're trying to learn supine bridges, but also just a great variation for really working that top end of this laying hip extension with lots of load. So Em's going to take us through here a demo of a couple of good reps, then we're going to break down the setup and the execution and some of the common mistakes. So let's look at a couple of good reps. So Em has got her rib cage and pelvis lined up throughout the movement here, so she's not allowing that rib cage to flare up, she's keeping everything intact. From there, she's going to press her feet right through the floor, extending the hips to her full active range and returning to the floor with control. Now, she does one more good rep and lowering down to that bottom position. Now, key thing here is what are some of the common mistakes? Well, sometimes people will place their feet too far away, and that'll end up leading to, and just do one rep there, that sometimes end up leading to not getting quite as much hip extension and actually getting a lot more hamstrings we'd want. So the other thing is they might bring their heels too close. That can sometimes lead to the quads almost getting overly stretched, and so actually there's just too much quad activation going on in there. So instead we want to find a happy ground for you as an individual where we're not getting too much knee bending or straightening, we're just making sure that most of that movement is coming from the hips extending through to the top. Now other things we want to make sure we don't do is just crash down at the top. Do one more like that. So it's going up and then just crashing down. The other thing we want to make sure we don't do is we want to make sure that we're not overextending that top position, so she allows that rib cage to almost like flare, almost arc too much, and overextending her active range. Come back down. So again, key points to think about: press that bar forward into the quad so it stays centered right in the hip crease, abs are pulling down towards that hip, this is all braced at the start, feet are pressing down into the floor, contracting the glutes before we even get up off the floor, and then controlling that through from the bottom into that full hip extension to that active range, keeping tension in the glutes as you lower back down towards the ground.